front wheel assembly and rear wheel assembly is connected to each other. So we just say that the final drive and axle is belongs to each other, means they can make the movement by this, because the final movement is, we can say that, which is through the final drive, and it is a mechanism which is belongs to the gear. And what does the final drive move? The final drive move is your vehicle. And how the final vehicle is moved? Vehicle movement is based on the how? Vehicle movement is based on the wheel. Okay. And where wheel is attached? The wheel is attached to the axle. So now you can say that it is important that the combination of final drive and automobile axle, so that it is finalize the moment of the vehicle. So let's start. What is the final drive? Okay, so we can say that the final drive is an assembly of the gear. The final drive is an assembly of the gear in the back axle of the rear wheel drive with engine power going to the rear wheel. Okay, what happened? With engine power going to rear wheel. Okay, because the engine power rotate the rear axis, and what can the front axle do? Front axle is for the directional purpose. Okay, from the front axle we can give the direction, how, in which direction vehicle is moved. But direct power transmission, or we can say that direct moment transmission, is done by the rear axis. So what we can do? We can say that final drive is nothing but it is the rear axis final drive. So we can say that the one other name, or the real name, is rear axle final drive. Okay, so the final drive is assembly of the gears in back axle or rear wheel drive vehicle, and it is the front axle front wheel drive with the engine power going to front wheel vehicle. The last set of the gear is the final train, is called the final drive. The last set of the gear train we can say the final drive. Okay, when the final drive come in the axle, the rotating wheel has to move at different speed when car negotiates a curve. Okay, so when the car is taking a curve, then this will be, what will be happen? The moment of rotatory wheel, and the movement of gear is the different speed. Okay, that are not same. On a front wheel drive car, the transmission is usually combined with the final drive to form what is called transaxle axle. Transaxle. Okay. What is the function of final drive? So what we can say that what is function of final drive? We can say that the final drive is component of actuator power transmission system, and it's located between in the rear of the machine undercarriage opposite of the blade. A final drive main function is to reduce the speed of the propeller shaft by decreasing the RPM and increasing the torque. Okay. Once again, a final drive main function is reduce the speed of the propeller shaft by decreasing the RPM and increasing the torque. So the main function means we can increase the torque whenever the required, then there is the final drive which takes place. What is the final drive in car? Okay, the final drive ratio is the last bit of gearing between your transmission and the driven wheel. The final drive ratio is the last bit of the gearing between your transmission and the driven wheel. By changing it, you can affect the performance. You can affect the performance of your car rather dramatically. In some cases, in general, a lower final drive ratio will be lead to less torque. Means whatever is there, the final drive ratio is high, then we get the higher torque, and if the final drive ratio is low, it means we get the low speed. It means we get the low speed. Okay. The rear axis final drive transmission, or we can say that the rear axis final drive transmits the power through an angle of 90 degree, and gear down, the engine revolves to provide a direct torque gear ratio. In the case of car, a final drive ratio is approximate 4:1 is used. Now, which type of gear we can use in the final drive? So, bevel or Vaughan gear are employed to achieve the various function of the final drive. Okay, so type of the final drive: bevel gears. So there is straight bevels, spiral bevels, hypod gear, worm and wheel gear drive. So there is three types of final drive. Means, or we can say that there is three type of gear assembly: bevel gear assembly, hypod gear assembly, and worm and wheel drive type of gear assembly. So what we can do now, just see the bevel gear. What can bevel gear do? So bevel gear transmits the motion when axes are two stalks perpendicular to each other. bevel gear transmit the power or motion when two axles perpendicular to each other. So see, as diagram is so, one axis is here, one axis is this way and one axis is this way. So what we can say that this is the gear where the perpendicularness is shown, means two axles perpendicular to each other, and we want to give the motion, or we can say that we want to provide the motion, then we go for the bevel gear. Okay, the geometry of a bevel gear layout, which is represent to friction cone A forming the crown wheel, and B is the pinion. So A and B, this is your crown wheel and this is your pinion, means this is your driver and this is your driven, means this will be rotated. So for avoidance of the slippage and wear, the apex of the pinion must coincide with the center line of the crown wheel. Okay, it is necessary to mount the gear in the correct position so that angle of the bevel is governing by the gear ratio. Okay, so see here what happened. This is the two-dimensional diagram of gear, bevel gear. So here, see, this is crown and this is the pinion gear. This is the crown gear and this is the pinion gear. So what happened? The teeth of the bevel gear is inclined in fashion. So see here, they are conic in shape. So see here, they make a cone. See, they make a cone like here. So what happened? The conic center, means their center must be meet at a same point. So we get the proper moment. If the alignment of the center cross, means if the conic shape is made here like here and the center is crossed another point, then there is a slipping is there. So for the sake to avoid the slipping, the center of the cone and the meeting point of the axle must be same. Okay. Now, type of the bevel gear. So we can say that this discussion is already straight bevel gear and spiral bevel gear. And one important point is this: back loss in the gear. What is the back loss? Back loss is the most commonly created by cutting the teeth deeper into the gear than the ideal depth. Another way to introduce back loss is by increasing the center distance between the gear. A standard practice is to make allowance for the half back loss in the tooth thickness of the gear. So what happens? See the diagram. See this diagram. Here what happened? the clearance between two teeth, the clearance between two teeth, see now this is okay. I zoom more so you can better understand. See, this is your back loss. Okay, this clearance is your back loss. Okay, so what happens? The back loss provides to proper movement between the gears. So we can easily understand back loss to provide the proper missing and avoid the slipping in the gear drive. So straight bevel, the taper teeth generate from the center and machined. The taper teeth generate from the center and machined on the case hardening steel gear and then ground together for a matte pair. The position of the crown wheel relative to the pinion determine the direction and rotation of the axle wheel. For the correct meshing and the setting the clearance between the teeth, back lock and adjuster in the form of distance piece, seams and screwed ring are used. Okay. When the back loss is too small, expansion result due to the heat and wear is the causes by the lack of the lubrication. Means what happened? If the back loss is so small, then what happened? The heat generation and the heat generation is higher than normal case. So each manufacturing recommends a suitable back loss, but in general it is region of 0.5 mm for car and 0.25 mm for heavy vehicles. Okay, so we can say that the back loss is nothing but it is the clearance between meshing. Okay, when two teeth is meshed to each other, or we can say that when the driver gear and driven gear meet to each other, then two teeth is meshed to each other at a time, then the clearance between two teeth is called back loss. Okay, so there is a standard of back loss 0.15 mm and 0.25 mm for the car and heavy vehicle respectively. Now see, this is your straight type bevel. See here, this is your pinion and this is your crown wheel. Okay, so this is your here. Now this is 2D diagram of the bevel, straight bevel. Now spiral bevel. Although the straight bevel is cheaper, see, although the straight bevel is cheaper and mechanically efficient, okay, means the mechanical efficiency is high, the meshing of the gear causes a unwanted noise, means noise is more, which has been reduced by introducing a helical form of tooth. Okay, helical form of tooth means we can use the helical teeth or helical gear in to avoid the noise in the machine. Okay, just a minute. Student, just wait for 2 minutes. There is some laptop issue. Just wait for 2 minutes. Sorry, students. Sorry for the disturbance. Due to the my laptop is hang, so that this will be happen. Now we discuss what is the spiral bevel, and next hypod gear. So this type of gear is commonly used nowadays. The pinion axle of this gear is offset to the center line of the crown wheel. Okay. So although the gear can be placed above or below the center, okay, no problem. Means this is the offsetting, okay, and it is below or above the center. The place is varying, but in the car it is always placed below to allow for a lower propeller shaft, so that a reduction in the tunnel height is possible. Reduction is tunnel height is possible. If the axle is lowered, the tooth pitch of the pinion increase, so that a given ratio, the pinion diameter can be large. Okay, means these are the benefits to put the pinion gear in lower position or below position. So normally 30% of normal offset. So we provide the larger diameter. Okay. The enables the use of stronger gear, especially on the commercial vehicle. Especially on the commercial vehicle. Okay. So see the diagram. This is the diagram for that. See, here what happened. Commercial vehicle, this is the motor car. This is the hypod. So what happened in hypod? See, hypod is provide this is the helical gear. This is the helix gear. What happened in the bevel? The both are the bevel gear, and see here the cross section of the center and the cone center is different here. So there is offset. See, pinion axis is offset to the crown wheel center. So this is the crown wheel and this is the pinion. So this must be, see, this must this much is the different or offset. So you provide the offset here. So this is the pinion center and this is the crown wheel center. So this must be offset. Okay. So this offset is above the center or below the center. So this is your commercial vehicle. So in the commercial vehicle, the center of the pinion gear is above to the crown center, and in the motor car, the center of the, or we can say the axis line is the below to the center of the crown wheel. Okay. Now, so here worm and wheel gear. Now, since the drive is expensive, it is rarely to use nowadays. Final drive on light vehicle, but it still use heavy vehicle. Okay. However, this type of gear has a number of other applications on the motor vehicle, It can be employed to provide a very quiet and long gear, but efficiency is less than bevel gear. Okay, 94% average percentage. This type of gear provide a large reduction in small specification. See here, what happened? This is the worm and wheel. This is the worm gear and this is your wheel gear. Okay, so this provides the great gear ratio of the worm wheel gear given by number of the teeth on the wheel and number of start on the worm gear. So these are the number of start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here what happened? We get very high ratio, very high gear ratio. Okay, if we get very high gear ratio, then it means the speed variation, we can change speed variation very high, means we get different type of torque in the same gear mechanism, means we get various greater type of speed variable in comparison to the bevel gear final drive. Now see, this is the spur bevel gear. Now this is the spiral bevel gear. Now you can easily see the difference. This is the hypod gear. The difference between hypod and spiral bevel gear is only center is offset, means crown center and pinion center is offset, and this is the same. And difference between bevel gear and spiral bevel gear, what is? In the pinion gear, this is the pinion. In the pinion gear, spur gear change to the helical gear, means spur teeth is changed to the helical teeth. Okay, now this is your worm gear, means here what happened? The wheel is here and one rod is there, which is we call the worm teeth on that, and this is not called teeth, this is called the starter or start. Okay, now we come to the axis. Okay, so see here, this is the drive axis component for forward. Okay, so what happens? See here, front wheel drive. This is the front wheel drive. This is short form FWD, front wheel drive. So this is about the front wheel drive. So this is your front wheel axle. This is your front wheel axis. Wheel 1, wheel 2, and constant velocity joint here. Inner joint, outer joint. This is the inner joint. This is the outer joint, and in the outer joint wheel is attached, and in the inner joint what happened? Gear mechanism is attached. So gear mechanism attached to the inner joint and outer joint attached to the wheel. Okay, now this is real wheel drive. So what happened? See, shock absorber, differential mounting installer here, constant velocity joint, suspension arm is here. Okay, and this is this drive shaft. So there are two different, we can say, front wheel drive, and this is the rear wheel drive. Okay, now see, outer CV joint, means what happens here? When the constant, outer constant velocity joint, see here, constant velocity joint, and up to 20 degree operating angle passenger side drive. Means when the this will be happen. What happened? One tire is below and one wheel is above. This will be happen. Then what happened? Due to this difference, the velocity is different. But what happened? By the constant velocity joint, we get the similar velocity. So this is your outer constant velocity joint. It work on up to 40 degree and it work on up to 20 degree. Now inner, so this is the inner type, means now this will be happen. So this is inside. So the passenger side drive and constant velocity joint is here. So driver side is soft. Now see, this will be provided to avoid the fluctuation of the road surface. Now axle soft. Transmit power from the inner to outer constant velocity joint. Now it is a differential. So in board constant velocity joint and here outer constant velocity joint. See here subaxle to the drive to the wheel. So one wheel is attached here. Okay. So this is your joint. See here. Here your inner and here is your outer. So this is your inner constant velocity joint and this is your outer constant velocity joint. So now, and this is the large view of that. Okay. Now ABS speed sensor. Some axle soft has an exterior ring welded to the outer CB joint for the ABS operation. So during removal and service of this style of the axle, extreme care but must be used not to damage or move this ring. So now you see here in this diagram, exciter ring is there. Then this will be provided. So except that, anyone can tell me what is the full form of ABS? Any student? What is the full form of ABS?
Anti-braking system.
Okay. Anti-lock braking system. You forget about lock. Anti-lock braking system. Okay. So drive axle component. So what are the drive axle components? Outer constant velocity joint, inner constant velocity joint, axle soft. So allow wheel to steer while axle is rotating. Inner constant velocity joint allow for suspension change while axle is rotating. Axle soft transmit power from inner to outer joint. Okay. Now front wheel drive. With the engine mounted transversely, the transaxle sit to the one side of the engine compartment. Thus, one axle must be longer than the other. The position is the position. Okay. Now, see, left hand half soft assembly, and this is right hand half soft assembly. Here, this is here, this is here, and here is the arrangement of the propeller shaft and gear box. Propeller shaft and gear box arrangement is between them. Now, front wheel assembly issue. Torque steer occur when the constant joint on the one drive shaft operate at the different angle from those one on the other shaft. The joint of the longer shaft almost always operate at least an angle than those on the shorter shaft. With a open differential shaft with the least resistance will receive more torque. When the differential send power to the wheel, the longer shaft will have less resistance because the constant velocity joints are operate at less an angle. Most of the engine's power will be sent to the side. This phenomena result is what is called torque steer. This is the torque steer. Okay, so this is the issue with the front wheel drive. Now torque steer redeem. How we can redeem the torque steer? So an intermediate shaft. We put an intermediate shaft using them to provide the, or we can say that reduce the torque steer. See here. Use this intermediate shaft or axle to reduce the torque steer. Vibration damper, we also provide the vibration damper, so they can absorb whatever the vibration produced during the operation, they can reduce. Unequal length of half shaft, so we can avoid the equal length. We provide this bar, hollow tube is there and solid bar is there. By this we can usually construct a differential to reduce the torque steer. So this will be added here. Hollow tube is added to avoid the torque steer. Now, type of drive axle, equal length, vibration damper and unequal length half shaft. So these are the types which we can use to avoid the torque steer. So That's it. This is your all about your second unit. Now your second unit is finished. So if there is any question, then you may ask.